And a one fish, two fish, fish, two fish, and a red fish, blue fish, and a red fish, blue fish. Right. Twitch is a-okay. Right. Twitch is a-okay. Let's go check the YouTube. What do I need? I need to see. I go into mod view. I swear with Twitch, I just can't have one view that does everything I need it to do. What are we doing? I'm checking the YouTube, right? We'll just pop over here. And we'll just go over here. And we'll just go over here. There we go. I can hear the volume now. All right, YouTube is good. Put that there. Bring you over here. We're going to work on the Deadline Reporter outfit some more today. I started the textures last night, just real quick. So I'm going to pick up on that, at least get this a little bit further along. Also, we have the shoes to do, and I have earpieces. I'm going to make a little receiver box that'll go on the waistband. So I'm going to try to not spend more than an hour on this. Then we'll try to break up the 3-hour stream into like 1-hour blocks. After this, we'll try to rig the shoes. The shoes are done modeling, so I think at this point it's a matter of getting them exported. I got to refit it to Genesis 8 though. So a matter of exporting, refitting, fitting, and at the very least maybe get those saved out so that I can then do that in Substance. And then in the 3 o'clock hour, we'll work on doing earpieces and a little receiver box that'll go on the waist. Oh, you've got the mic done. So what am I doing here? I am going to add the stitching. I've got the basics set up. So, and we've got our alternate colors right now. I'm showing the white. We have a black option. Actually, the hero outfit is probably going to be, well, white and black's going to be an option, but I don't think that should be. Reporters tend not to wear an outfit that looks like that. That looks like it's too in the office. I'm thinking, am I going to want a red option? We are going to want maybe a peach or a light pink, probably a cream. Maybe we can, something like a cream with a brown skirt. So we'll do a brown and maybe a tan or beige and maybe something, I don't know, maybe a teal or a purple or a dark lavender, teal, purple, dark lavender, top and bottom. And maybe that'll be the hero outfit. I haven't quite decided yet. Anywho, we're doing stitching. I'm gonna just go back to the white look. And I just did the buttonholes. Actually, let's finish up the buttonholes. I just put the buttonholes on. I'm gonna back that up with we're gonna fill in the back of these with a little black color, which I'm also gonna use as an opacity map. Are you set up for opacity? Let's take a look at what we've got for opacity. I don't think those are set up for opacity. Dang it. I might try to redo those. Where's my brush? It doesn't have an opacity. If I put it on an opacity, yeah, I'm going to redo those. So let's come back over to here. And I don't want to be seeing the YouTube over there. That doesn't really do me a lot of good. There we go. That's better. At least with Twitch, I can see that there's one person watching. Probably me. So I think we're going to, it's probably easier just to delete that. Bring this back in. Make sure that this is set to do opacity. We're not going to do, I'm going to do color, but it's a little bit of a color blend. So we're just going to take this and maybe a little bit of an overlay or something with it. Let's switch this back to material. Did I not get rid of you? There you are. What are you? you're, oh, you're the new layer I made. That's right. So I think we'll lose that. Bring this in. Gonna do that, but I'm gonna set this to maybe if I do an overlay with that, we dial that back a little bit. So just get a little bit of a color mix in there. We'll pop over here to the normal map. I'm going to set that just to be normal. Let's take a look at how our normal maps are looking on that. You're not giving me a normal map. I can kind of see one in there. How's the height map look? I can see the height map, so that's probably okay. And I got these. I got to touch up these masks. My color selector is being a little blurry on the edges. And I'm not sure which one are you coming from. Are you coming from... Is this the fact that the stylized... Which one of you... Stylized cotton shirt. There we go. It has a color. Stylized men's wool twill. What I gotta do is I think I have to... Actually, can I just copy these? Actually, can I just copy that? Copy effect, and then can I just paste you right there? And does that do anything? That didn't actually do anything. I think what maybe I need to do is put, maybe dupe that. And get rid of this. Can I just delete you? Delete mask. Remove the mask. Yeah, and then I'm just going to put this way in the back so it's behind everything. I think that'll be good. You got normal? You do got normal. And the opacity. I'm not going to use the opacity. Let's use the opacity from that. And let's not use the opacity from... That's probably good. Let's take a look at our opacity. There's a little bit of opacity to that. That might be okay. How's the... There's a little bit of opacity on that. I really don't want the opacity on that, though. And are you just color? Wool wisps. Can I just get rid of you? No, I think I need you. I thought I moved you back here. Oh, I went to the... I dragged it over to the wrong tab. That's what happened. So what's going on with you? Oh, I know what it is. It's that, isn't it? Yeah, baby. You know what? I don't need that anymore, actually. Oh, and you were supposed to... Okay, I see what I did. Never mind. That's going to work for me. All right, let's start redoing the buttonholes. Let's switch you back to material view. And I'm going to do the buttonholes over here. Ack. We're going to run it down through here. You know what? I'm going to go back to color because it's easier to see what I'm doing. Okay, do I have my buttonhole brush? Yep. All right. Am I getting, are you showing the opacity I need now? It is showing the opacity. All right. I think we're good. So I'm going to come back to here. I've got that set to little to light. So, and actually let me tweak this just a little bit too. We'll put that to normal and then we'll just pop back over to base. I'm going to reset that to 100 for just now. I'm going to dial that back in a minute because I want to be able to kind of see what I'm doing. So I think we'll start there. Oops, I got a wayward. So I think I'm going to start there and drag you all the way down to maybe somewhere in here. And we're going to count these. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that is that 7 or 8. How's my spacing on this? Did it get changed? No, it's still 750. Okay, it should be good. Oh man, I just can't see what I'm doing. I think I've got too many. I need to just change the color on this to something obnoxious that I can actually see. And then change it. And I'm going to have to, this is, can I see that that's all this freaking noise, man. You know what? I just try and shut all of that down. And now can I see what I'm doing? Now I can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay. So once again, I kind of want to start with that there. I still have that there. Damn it. Or I just, trash that layer. Let's try this again. Okay, I don't know. Oh, you're a little bit of dirt. You're a little bit of edgeware. I can keep those. These are for color. That's for the shirt. And then we have this underlying everything. Okay. So I'm going to start one there. I don't want any more than 7. Yo, Mauler, how are you doing? And let's bring that down there and let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7. We're good. Substance painter, something like that. I think that's going to work. All right, now I'm going to tweak the. I'm going to dial back the color on those, and we'll get back in our layers again. Actually, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to add some stitching. So we're going to do stitching now. Let's pop in another paint layer. Let's switch over to, I can't see my brushes. There we go. Let's get that old, let's do this pen tool. I don't know. I hate the fact it's only 3D. It works really nice, but that limitation kind of is annoying. So I'm going to start putting stitching around here. We'll put some along the front. I think I'll run some around the arms. We'll run some on the cuffs. And I think I'm going to do a little bit on this waistband here. So that's the plan for today until 2, and then we're going to jump on to something else in Blender. So let's got you, close that. Let's go find our, we'll use the top stitching brush here. I like the pen tool because I can tweak it later on after setting it down. And it needs a lot of tweaking. So I want this to just be on the UVs. We'll fix that. Yo, Lund. Stitching time. Yep. Dum 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 dum. Hey, can I get you right there? I think so. All right, we got a lot of work to tweak this stitching. For one thing, we're going to switch that to UV so it's not, and despite the fact I told it UV, it's still painting on the underside there. Oh, I know what it is. It's this line got off. Here, we got to add our curve points. There, I'm going to turn that into a curve point, tweak that a little bit. So hopefully I'm going to make that, I'm going to put another curve point, or we need a little sharp right there. Yo, CS Bond in the house. Bye bye. Oh man, it really doesn't work well with UV mapping, does it? Uh, that's unfortunate. I mean, I can switch it back. I don't know. Can I, well, let's switch it back to, and there's a way, I'm going to try this. We'll switch it back to tangent wrap. Of course, now it's painting under here, but I think there's an offset that I can tweak that will projection depth. I think if we change the projection depth, we can keep it from projecting down onto the shirt. It's, yeah, it's one of those things. Well, I mean, it's not as bad as Blender, but still. Um, and honestly, it does do so much, but I'm kind of focused. You know, you get focused on what you need to do. And this really does speed up texturing. Let's tweak that to 0.01, 0.001. Nope. 0.0001. Oh, for crying out loud. 0.00001. You know what I'm going to need to do? I'm going to need to break that collar off of there and redo this. So we're going to pop this in the blender. We're going to separate that collar so that it doesn't project down on the rest of the shirt. Yeah, but there's always little tweaks. I mean, I like this pen tool, except the limitations are just really annoying. The fact that I can go back and change these later on is really nice. The fact that you can't use it on 2D is annoying as hell. Oh, you know what I can do? I can mask that off. That's what we're going to do. We'll just put a black mask on there, and we'll just mask that off so it's not projecting onto that. We'll just put a white mask on there. We'll just paint to that, and then I can just, and I'm going to set that to UV. And then I can fix this overlap that way. I use too many programs. I'm forever using the wrong things. Also, the fact I feel like half the time I try to do something, it doesn't actually work, even though I'm doing it the right way. Like the sizing and substance, I feel like half the time I click on it, it just ignores me. You know, I'm holding the control key down and I've got my right mouse button and it's just not reading my mouse motions quite right. So half the time it's like, nah, try again, dude. Okay. All right, so that fixes that. This stitching is just whack, so we're going to fix that. Definitely need to just start by adjusting that size. And I need to actually select the pen tool. Doy. Let's try that. That didn't make any difference. I'm just going to set that back to default. Let's if we just do. Okay. Where is my? And I've got everything so congested in here. I can't see this until I drag that out. That's annoying. All right, let's try that. There we go. I like that better. I'm going to switch that stitching to, I think, a gray and just do a little overlay with that. The color is not as important, but I want it to just be a little offset from the color it's on. We don't need that. Actually, I do want the height map. I don't want the roughness. I don't want the metallicity. I do want the normal. Using too many programs begin. Yeah, continually find myself using the wrong shortcut key for a different program. Here's the color. I think I'm just gonna make sort of a neutral gray, and we're just gonna kind of tweak that to be a little overlay. I think maybe maybe a linear burn, and we'll back that off a little bit. My resolution's at 2K in here, so it looks a little rough. Yeah, I normally don't deal with textures in Blender, so it's not a huge problem for me. Like I said, I make content for Daz Studio, so that's where everything has to end up going. All right, I'm happy with that. I think you know what? I'm gonna pop some materials on here. And we're just gonna I'm just gonna do a little render. Let me hit save on this. Just pop over here. Let's take a look at the render and see if I can just take a look at how that's. The resolution's a little low in here. I wonder if I want to save these at 8K and if it would. I don't know. I'm going to live with that for right now. I, I'm hoping it looks better when we get it over to Daz. Because you know what? I think the render is also at 2K. Let's go back to painting. I'm just going to finish up the rest of the stitching. So we're just going to run stitching through here. Now in this case, it actually is going underneath, but actually works out because they're more or less, it works to have this pattern on the underside piece. So hopefully they line up not too crappy. Okay, you're supposed to be there, but I actually want you over here. And I want you to be I gotta open this up again because I don't have enough room in here. You get to be a hard corner. You get to be a hard corner. I need another little point in there to make sure why are you... Mm. All right, let's take a look at the other side. So ideally, that's running up and down on both sides, although not quite. Oh, I got to put corners down on here. Do that. And that. You know what? I think I'm going to tweak the... Oh, my projection depth is too small. That should have... That didn't make any difference. Why project onto that? Why you hate me so? All right, I'm going to live with that. I'm going to run a path along the, where am I? Oh, I can't see anymore. There's it is. All right, let's do another. We'll run one along the arms through here. Oh, by the way, Mauler, you stream, right? I think we should give you a shout out. I think I followed you the other day when I rated Plobby. There you go. I think Plobby rated you, but I was distracted, so I really didn't watch much of the stream. Okay, I kind of like this. What I hate about this pen tool is I've got parts that overlap here, and I just can't. And it just is very difficult to get underneath things. Oh, thanks for the follow. Twitch did that to me the other day. I wasn't following Plobby, and I know I was following Plobby. So it's like, what the hell? Sometimes Twitch be like that, you know. You know what? I know this guy you want to check out, but we're gonna unfollow you for it. All right, let's hit escape. Let's come back over here. And I'm just gonna run along the edge here. I'm upside down.
Chris, pay attention.
What now? What now? Hey, Chris. You already shouted him out 2 times. Oh, okay. Thank you, Charles. Did you? Nope. I clicked on a line I wasn't looking for. Let's pull you back a little bit so we can get a little better curve in there. So I'm just going to bring that over to there, over to there. Then we'll just run you back. And let's put, I can do that. And I can switch that back to curve. I can't see what I'm doing. Am I still on the cuff? I think I'm on the cuff. I'm just going to have to. That's one of my biggest problems. I can never see what the frick I'm doing in this. This would be easier in 2D view. So much easier in 2D view. But no. It took them long enough just to come up with a basic pen tool in 3D view. I think they exhausted all their brain cells with that. Okay, that's totally in the wrong spot. I'm gonna color the cuffs because I can't see what I'm doing. So I got that fill layer. Let's add a black mask. Let's do a color selection. Let's select the cuffs. Oh, the cuff's way over there. I'm way off. And let's give that a color that's obnoxious and easy to see. Here we go. So I got a little, and then we pop back over to here, come back into here, and I gotta look at how far off I went. No, you know what, I can delete you. Actually, can I just, that would be too easy. I don't know, you I'm probably want there. You I can probably just delete. You will just drag you over here. You, I can probably just delete. We'll probably add another point in there in a little bit. Let's bring you here. Bring you over here. Let's bring you here. You can die. You can make a corner out of that. I've lost the corner again. There it is. All right, I think we're good. We're just going to see if I can slip that under there a little bit further. Probably okay. All right, I don't need that. And actually, I do need that because I got to do the other side. This mesh isn't symmetrical, so I have to do both sides individually. But having done it on one side, hopefully it goes faster on the second. That's the theory, right? Anyhow, escape, start, click, click, click. We do fake displacement over in DAZ to give it some extra thickness. So I'm not worrying about the fact it looks so paper thin. All right, sharp corner. Go back to smooth curve. And I think the end point, we'll just hide under there. Okay, so I got the collar, I got the buttons, I got the cuffs. I think I'm going to run one along the edge here. Speaking of too many, so something like that. Often it's Marvelous Designer. Actually, the way it goes is so this actually starts in Marvelous Designer. The mesh goes in the DAZ. I give ID colors and things and export that out of DAZ into, so that's what comes into Substance Painter. I texture that up. Then if I need to add things, like I'm going to have to go into Blender and we need to add buttons. So the buttons will be made in Blender. So it's not necessarily a workflow 1, 2, 3, 4 Marvelous Blender Substance. It's like Marvelous to Blender, um, then in DAZ or Blender, one of the two. I have to tweak the mesh to send into Marvelous Designer or into Substance Painter. It doesn't. I do my ID maps by just quickly assigning colors and exporting it out. So I do set up a whole bunch of surfaces in here. And that reminds me, I do have to save my ID map. But I bake the ID map off of 2 meshes in Substance. So in Substance, I don't know, maybe it's changed, but my workflow is Substance doesn't like extra material zones, and it'll give you an extra texture set for every one of those, which is a pain in the ass. So so the one I bring into Substance has no materials on it, so it's all in one texture set. And then I have a version that's colored up, and then I bring that in and bake my ID map. I don't know if that made sense, but that's and now that I've baked an ID map, I got to save that out because I use that. That helps me make my displacement map later on. Um, am I exporting? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm adding resources. I don't want to add resources. I want to export a texture. We're going to do that. And I have an ID map template somewhere in here, right there. And so we're going to export that. Come over here. You'd need to refresh. There's that ID map. So I'm just going to move that over to my working folder. which is somewhere, I don't know, is that the right one? There it is. So I'm going to put that ID map there because I'm going to use it later on. So in DAZ, I just put different colors on the separate surfaces or materials. DAZ likes to call them surfaces, Blender likes to call them materials. And Substance seems to think you want a separate texture set for every material, which I don't. So this is the workflow I ended up going with. It would be nice if I could just bring in the one with all the surfaces on it, but nope, Substance doesn't like that. It's one of those quirks. All these little quirks you have to figure out workarounds for. I remember when I first started doing this, there was a guy who had like a utility that would like take all the textures sets and merge them together. And he was using Photoshop to do that. Okay, am I done? I'm done here. So that was the ID map. I did need that. I want to put a little path along the edge here. And then I'm going to put a couple just on the waist, I think, of the skirt. I probably should have put a split in the back of the skirt, but oh well. I'm going to live with it like that. Also, I'm not happy with where these are. I think I'm going to just move them over a little bit. So I'm going to redo that. And I'm going to, actually, I need to see this edge here. So I'm going to add that to this color selection. So that's visible. And I'm just going to run a path right along the edge of that for my, and you know what? Let's actually label you. Labeling things. What an idea. Stitches. Look out, snitches. Stitches. I think that's close enough. And I know you are Edgeware. I keep looking at that thinking it's a color layer and it's not. You are Dirt. Okay, these I know what they are. These are actually just colors. And I forget what you're supposed to be. I'll figure it out later. You're probably, oh, you're also, oh, you're the buttonholes. Yeah, let's call you buttonholes then. So I can find you later. That we're going to redo. I don't know what you are. I think you're a not needed layer. All right, let's do, so we're back into stitches. I'm going to start this right about here, and we'll just bring it along. Actually, can I just drag you? No, I'm getting that goofy. And we'll back out a little bit. I'm not even sure this detail will show up in DAZ. I mean, I'll know it's there, but in order to see it, you got to get pretty close, I think. All right, that's probably good enough with that. I'm going to escape that, and we'll just put some. I can actually see the lines here. So, oh, what are you? Oh, I know, you're one of these layers, messing things up. I'll remember to turn that off when I export this out. Are you? Yeah. You coming from, yeah, you're coming from that. It's from this paint layer here that I put on there. That's right. Never mind. All right, now I'm going to add these. You know, I think I'm just going to box this around. we'll start here, come down. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cheat. We're going to not put any stitching. Maybe I should just run a stitch down. You know, I'm going to start this right here. Nope. Oh, I need a new path. I knew that. I thought I turned that off. Damn it, I must have hit undo or something. All right, let's make that a sharp corner. Of course, my sharp corner is hidden again. And then we make you an unsharp corner. And actually, where am I going to, you know, I'm going to make that a little bit closer to this line right here. And then I'm just going to go along that edge. Adjust that a little bit. And close you. And I didn't make you sharp. We'll do that. Did I not make you sharp? There we go. I think I'm just going to run a little seam right down here. So escape. And, you know, oh, I should have sharpened that or put a sharp corner on that. We can take care of that later. See, like that. Boom. I remembered it this time. Then I can turn that off. I could probably get away with that being sharper. And then boom, boom. And actually, let's lower that to line up more like there and there. Probably good. I think that'll be fine. Oh, I'm just going to run one right along the bottom hem. We'll do that as well. Probably going to be good enough with the stitching. Then we'll export this out and get it on in put it on in Daz. Okay, am I done with what I want to do? Did I add my zipper? I think I got it. Oh, one of these. You know, I probably just deleted the zipper out, didn't I? That was probably the mystery. All right, so we'll add the zipper back in. I don't need you anymore because you were just a guide. Not that you can see it, but we'll do the zipper with the regular brush and not the pen tool because I just can't get underneath here. I mean, there's ways to hide it, but I never bothered learning it. So I just need to add a zipper to this right here. And why are you... See, it's inconsistent on this projection bit, isn't it? Let's see if we can tweak that projection. to close that a little bit better. And maybe okay, I think that was, yep, path 8. So somewhere down in here. Okay, can I tweak? Yeah, that projection doesn't really do what I think it does it? Tangent planar, did that do anything? Nope. UV, I'm still getting, maybe I'll just do the UV. Are you actually straight this time? You know, I think the UV is going to work for that. So I'm getting a little bit up there, which means I probably have to just tweak that a little bit. Still getting a little in here. What the frick? Oh, I see. I missed. I went off the edge. All right, let me put my zipper in here now. I didn't UV map that right, but there's also a strip that's going to be deleted out later on. So anyhow, let's draw a new paint layer. Let's use the old-fashioned brush tool. I'm going to use that zipper. I'm going to scale you down and maybe start you right about there. And you're going to do something like that, except you're doing the tangent wrap. So we'll switch you to UV. You're still, oh, I have to redo it, right? That's better. I need to overlap that a little bit, and I may have to erase a little bit of it. And I may need to do this twice. Get that. Something like, and now I can't see where my, does Marvelous automatically retopolize and unwrap the clothing you make? Um, it does an okay job of doing the topos these days. I don't retopo anyhow because I'm lazy, and it doesn't make a big difference. But we can take a look at Marvelous and I can kind of show you. I want you to be a little more. Are you going to draw? That's a little too far off the edge, maybe. Let's make you maybe a little bit bigger. I think I'm going to go with that. And then I want to put this on the other side. I think I'm going to use that for my zipper. So there's a, I don't know, there's a zipper end thing. I want to try to use those. Zip. Do I have the zipper end thingy? At the end. That's a technical term, isn't it? This thing right here, the advanced stop. I want to just put one of these down here. So can I just do that? Oh, you big. And I want you to be the same color as my zipper. I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I should just use the advanced zipper tape. Oh, well, it's too late. I got my zipper done. But I think it came in gray, right? Here, let's just stick this color CCCCC. Um, I can remember that. So we'll just change that to be that color. Oops. And it's going to get split in half, so maybe a little bit. Oop, you maybe there and there. Maybe there. Am I in? You know what? It's probably fine on this layer. There and there. Live with that. Then I can put a hue saturation. Here, we'll put a filter on here. So I can either make it a silver zipper or a. Did that zipper come in with, or am I ending up redoing my zipper? Is that what's going to happen here? You didn't come in with a normal map though. Bad boy. You know, I'm just gonna. I already forgot what I was doing. Oh, and you, damn it. It, it did that thing where it painted on. I have to switch you back to, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cheat. We'll put a hue to, or a height to normal filter on there. But you need to be switched back to UVs. Where are you? There you are. And then I'm just going to Are you not painting? Oh, I've got the wrong tool selected again. All right, switch you back to UVs. I'm not going to do that. I think my color, it went back to what it was. So we'll redo that. Make that smaller. Let's see, I think if I do that, it's probably okay. So I was going to add a hue and saturation. So we're going to do a couple of filters on here. Add a filter. You know, we'll do a height to normal just to get, also bake a normal map out of this. And I'm also going to add a HSL so I can color shift this. I probably should have just made this whole thing red. Is that the right thing? Is that what it is now? I think so. Can I shift this or do I have to just redo the colors? You know what? I just have to redo these because I don't have any color in it. I can't shift it. Oh well. I'm just going to erase it all and redo the zipper. It'll probably be faster that way. I love the way the eraser only thinks I want to do color. No, we want to erase everything. Perhaps you just want to erase color. Nope. Are you not doing anything? Is my spacing too? My spacing's goofy on this. And let's make sure we're just doing UV. And then I can just, and I guess I can just control shift this, right? Only I missed the edges a little bit. All right, I'm going to try this other zipper. Well, we've got, and then we'll come back and get this. So, here, let's try this advanced zipper tape. So I am actually just going to make that obnoxious red because we're going to recolor that. You are Gigantor. Bring you back down here. Let's make sure, you know what, this time I'm going to click on normal. So I don't have to add the height to normal filter. So I can probably get rid of that. we're just going to make sure we're painting once again on the UVs. And oops, I got a little bit of a bugaboo still there. Okay. Let's try this. Did I not make that red? What did I actually make red? And why are you looking? Oh, it's because I got the hue and saturation filter on there. Excellent. And I think we'll do that. Actually, do I want tape? Can I just take the tape off? Tape opacity. That didn't seem to do anything. All right, I'll go back to the other zipper. And we'll make you red. And once again, I got to reset all of this stuff. I know there's probably a way to save this. All right, click here and drag you all the way down to here. You know, that's probably going to be okay. And I'll just put one over here. Then we'll do the stop. Set you to UV. Make you red. Put you there and there. All right, that's good. So, oh, and I forgot to do the normals on those. That would probably fine. I do have my height to normal on here, and that should. Let's just take a peek. That is obnoxious. Here, we can. This needs adjusting. I love this height depth it starts at 16 centimeters. That's probably going to be good enough. Okay, and then I'm going to tweak this. Can I just restore defaults on that? So it goes back to red is what we should be seeing, right? So I'm going to, let's make it brass first. So I'm going to just crank that saturation all the way up so I can kind of see this color change as I go. Somewhere in there maybe. A little off on the lightness. Tweak the saturation a little bit. I think I'm going to lighten that up some. I think I'm going to call that brass. I'm going to call you zipper so I know where so I can find you again. And actually, we're going to call you zipper brass. And we'll dupe that. And this will be zipper steel. So, and we're just going to tweak that one right there. Going to have some dinner. Hey, thanks for being here. We will catch you later. Enjoy your dinner. All right, let's crank that saturation all the way up because I'm going to slide you over towards the cool colors. Somewhere in there. But we're going to take that saturation way down. And maybe lighten it up a little bit. And that's going to pass for my steel. Okay, in that case, I'm not going to take a look at it. If you pop back, remind me to open up Marvelous Designer. I can kind of show you how it takes care of mostly the meshing. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm about ready to export this out. Am I forgetting something? I wanted to move the buttonholes over. That's right. We knew that. I'm just going to erase that again. Is my eraser tool screwed up? Nope, looking good. use my custom button tool. Where are you, custom button tool? Because I spelled button wrong. There it is, my button brush. Do I have to retweak you? I do have to retweak you because you went back to your default settings. No, I didn't want to change that size, did I? No, I like that size. I wanted to change the spacing to 750, I think. You're a little crooked. Why do you get a little crooked? Let's try you again. And let's set you to, I think it is because I'm tangent. Let's set you back to UV. Let's just make sure I'm using all of my, I'm going to use opacity on that. I don't need roughness in metal. So that goes there. We bring it all the way down to here. I'm hoping I got 7 of you. I did not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's switch back to. We'll undo those, and we'll switch this to maybe 600. And try this again. I'm so close. I just missed. Can I just bring you? And you're off just a hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I'll say 400. That goes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dang it. Let's try 500. One, two, three, four, five. You know what? I'm gonna. I'm almost there. There, that's better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that's what I wanted. Oh, I got to put a little bit of black backing on these zippers here, or behind the buttonholes. So I need a paint layer for that. Buttonhole black. Backing, we'll call it buttonhole backing. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to switch to a normal basic hard brush. Although I've got this stuff in the way. How do I clear you? I wish there was a way I could just click on that and clear that. Can I just reset default properties here? Is that an option? That did not do it. Basic soft. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, we'll just clear all of this stuff out. So I want the opacity to be that. So this is just color and opacity on this one. So I'm going to make the color really dark because it's going to be like it's a hole behind it. And we're going to put the opacity to transparent. And then I'm going to set this up just right behind. Teeny little. And then I'm just going to plop that in there. We'll just double check our opacity. So there just should be a little bit of black back behind there. And this white is coming from the buttonhole on top. Actually, I can just probably just do it in here. So click and click. I don't really need the opacity on that, but it's, if I'm going to use an opacity map, it's there. But it does give me that fake depth. All right, that should be good. I think I'm ready to export. I think we'll export out black and white. And then, what are we? Oh, we're past 2, so it's time to move on to shoes. It's time to move on to earpieces. We'll do the earpieces and then the shoes. Or do I want to do the shoes? We'll do the earpieces, then the shoes. I'm going to hit save. We'll switch back over to material just to double check that I don't have any weird. I think this will be fine. So Control Shift E. We'll do actually I'm going to do 6 channels because I do want the opacity map, maybe. Open the output directory. Oh. Okay, we're going to call you white. Okay, we'll activate our. There we go. That's the black color. I think that'll be fine. I'm just going to export out a color map for this. There we go. I got to refresh again. I know sometimes my Windows ends up doing this. It's kind of annoying. All right, let's move these over to my DAS folder. We'll put this on the outfit. Is my DAS open? My DAS is not open. All right, so while I'm launching DAS, we will head over here into here, and then we'll go down and stick these in the textures. Right there, blouse and skirt. Control B. Am I getting 6? I am getting 6. Excellent. Business suit, people, Genesis 8. And I'm going to put this on a character, set it up, save it. Is my blender open? My blender is open. I still have the shoes in here. Dang. Let me take a look. I was doing a little shopping earlier before stream. Oh, hold on a second. I will be right back. I'll be back. Are you my... Nope, here's my OBS. Ah, there you are. All right, I'm back. I just had a few things that I forgot to close. So where was the shopping? Did I close the shopping down? No, I didn't. There it is. So I'm just gonna like make a little earpiece. I want to go with a wireless one. So I'm gonna maybe professional earphone. You know, if you had too much money and you were a journalist, that might be what you would use. And then we'll make a little box kind of like this, except I'm going to leave the antenna off. I saw one I liked, but of course now I can't find it again. What are these called anyhow? Ear monitors. Let's try that. Wireless ear monitor. I'm going to make a little box that we're going to put on the belt, and then we're going to make little earbuds that we'll put in the ears. Not that you're actually going to be able to see that. Flavory Panda. Best viewers on Twitch. Hell yeah, I got the best viewers on Twitch. Thank you, Charles. Ah, poor Flavory Panda. Worst bot on Twitch. I'm lying. Of course, that's not the worst bot on Twitch. I think I'm just gonna have to make something up. Dang it, I kind of liked that one that I saw earlier. And I don't want a little antenna. I think that's another thing. I mean, it kind of makes sense to have one. You know what? I think maybe I'm just going to make something up. I think we'll put some buttons on a little box. I like this one. It's got dials. We'll use that kind of. Mine's going to be thinner. We'll put a little screen. I'll just put a couple of generic dials on here. We'll put maybe a couple of buttons on the top and call it good. And I think I'm going to put a clip on the back that we can kind of just hold next to the waistband. And do I have dimensions for this though? No, I think I'm just going to eyeball that then. Hit the stage with the wireless in your monitor. Where's the in wireless ear monitor in-ear monitor system? You know, I think I'm just going to make my own up. We're going to have a thing that sits in the ear. And then I'm just going to make a little box that connects. All right, so let's do it that way. You're done. We're over in Blender. Let's import in, I don't know, Genesis 8. One of these things is a Genesis 8, isn't it? Where does it go? G8 right there. All right. So, you know what? I'm just going to start with a cylinder. Then we'll make another piece. And then I'm going to kind of get it to line up in the ear. And then we're going to make a mirror of that. So we'll have right and left ears. Although some of these I've seen only come with the right ear. And then I'm going to make a little box that we can put on the, and we'll probably put it at the back because you usually wear those behind you, right? So that they're not really obvious in front of the camera. So let's start with a cylinder. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I'm going to make you, it is 16, yay. And we're going to call you earpiece. And we'll just tab in here. And we'll just scale you down. A little like that. I'm just going to and we're going to put a little inset in there. Maybe pull you over here a little bit. Maybe pull you out. Maybe do a little other little inset like that. We do an extrude. And then we do a extrude and a scale. I'm using proportional editing. Let's turn that off. Extrude you again. Scale a little bit. And I'm going to do a little bit of an inset. Pull out. All right, so that's going to be the starter shape. Let's fix a couple of things. You know what? I'm going to just come down to tries on this. That I can. All right, you know what? I'm just going to do this. And since I'm here, so this is going to be the basic for my earpiece. Let's mark a couple seams there. You know what? I think I'm going to just bevel that a little bit. Bevel you a little bit. Probably good enough. Let's mark a seam there and there and there. And you know what? I'm going to mark a seam there and there. And then I think maybe we'll just slack and put a seam right through the edge of everything here. Something like that's the uh starting position. Okay, I'm gonna fit this into the ear a little bit better now. I'm figuring out how to put it in here. Got the flat part sort of towards the back and a little bit lower than the hole. So we're going to, so first things first, let's just kind of get this oriented. RY 90. So going to be kind of like that. You know what? I think I'm just actually, we'll put a little bit of, I'm going to shift this whole piece. And we'll do a little bit of proportional editing on that. So I'm just going to kind of bring that down kind of in there a bit more. Maybe something like that. Make it small. Okay, it's smaller still. And now I'm just going to shape that up a little bit. Am I in the hole? There's the ear hole right there. So I think maybe we need to rotate this a little bit. I think maybe I'm going to just rotate this part a little bit, maybe. Something. Maybe something like this. And if we put a subdivision on that, are you clipping? You're still clipping a little bit over in here. I don't know. Let's put a color on that so I can kind of see what we're doing. And let's add a subdivision. I can't see chat because I got Daz in the way. Yo, DJ Ray, how are you doing? All right, I got my coffee, my cold coffee in this beautiful Sarah mug. Oh, and Mauerler's back. Yes, I'm doing a little bit of Blender. We're making an earpiece. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look cool. It's, what am I doing? Am I adding my subdivision modifier? Dun 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 dun. Generate sub D. Yeah, maybe something like that. How's my... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. All right, what do I got? I can't tell because I got this head in the way. Okay, I've got some... I'm going to tweak this a little bit. I want to round this out and make it smoother. So let's fix that. Loop tools, circle, scale. Let's loop tools, circle that, scale. Kind of like that. Oops. Actually, I'm going to turn off that and then I'll scale it in like that. And maybe you got a little crooked, so we'll fix you. And we'll fix you. Probably good. Are you... Oh, I'm too close. Let me fix my view. My clip. There we go. So, you know what? Let's flatten you out. Am I selecting the wrong thing? And let me flatten that out. All right, is that a weird enough shape I could kind of live with? I think so. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to call that my, I am going to turn you into a circle on the end here, though. Maybe scale you just a little bit. Bring you out. I think I'm going to call that my earpiece. Actually, I just can't stop. Help. Where are you? You need to be adjusted a little bit. Nope, you're on the wrong. Maybe we flatten you. That's the wrong one. No, that's the right one. Did I not click on flatten? I must have grabbed something else by mistake. All right, let's put our head back and make sure I just haven't gone too. I mentioned something. Oh, yeah, we wanted to look at Marvel's Designer, and I don't actually retopo. I let Marvel's Designer do the topping. Retopo the. It's doing a better job these days. And with DAZ Studio, I don't really get a big benefit out of making cleaner topology. It's the amount of time spent retopoing doesn't really have any significant effect on how well the model works in DAZ. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. um, Stop that. Uh, a recent. So this is actually the outfit that we're actually working on. And if we switch over to the wireframe, right, you can actually see it's not too bad, the topology, really. So you're able to select things and switch them over to, where's my property editor? Come on. So you get your mesh type options here, and their quad optimized has been fairly decent. So that's the reason why I don't bother retopoing, because you know what? That's not bad, really. Of course, I'm not a topology expert, so I could be totally wrong. But I don't see the, yeah, so I don't see the point in trying to make this any better when there's no real advantage to it other than like bragging, look at how clean my topology is. It gets a little weird sometimes, like in here, but I mean, that still is going to work. And that's a little goofy up there, but you know, it'll work. It'll be fine. So it's not, it's, you know, I'm not finding a cost benefit analysis doing retopology. So I never really bothered to learn it that well. I know the basics, but I've never really done it. I think I bought some nice retopo tools, which I still haven't used. Seams are easy too, considering they're seams. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. UV. So this also sets up my UVs, and my UVs tend to be a little. I don't over optimize my UVs just because I just turn these patterns into UVs, and you can see I do have a lot of wasted space, and I do have a way to pack that tighter. But on the other hand, if a user actually wanted to say make their own textures or something, this makes it real easy to work with for your average user who isn't dumping money on something like Substance. You know, if they just have GIMP, you know, if you wanted the retextures, you know, I want to add a name tag on here. So you can just dump this into GIMP, add your own name tag real easy, and you're good to go, right? Whereas if I was using UV Packmaster and Blender, it would like fit it really nice and tight. But on the other hand, it gets a little, where is this? Is it on this? Is it over? You know what I mean? Anyhow, I think I'm happy with that. Let's give this a couple material zones. I'm going to give one that's going to say plastic. We're going to say earpiece and earpiece rubber. I'm going to put earpiece rubber on that little thing there. Hey, no worries. Are you actually using Marvelous Designer, or it's just one of those tools you considered and you're not sure if there's a... I mean, it runs me, what am I spending on it? Like 280 a year for Marvelous Designer. The stuff, I mean, it adds up, right? There's the Substance subscription, which has gone up to 25. Marvelous Designer runs 280. Daz is free, but if you want to use add-ons for Daz, they're going to charge you for those. Blender, of course, Blender's free, but if you're using add-ons for that, but Blender's probably your best deal out there. Not tended. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Okay, earpiece. I capitalized that totally wrong because my cap lock is on. Let's maybe take the cap lock off. How about that? What a novel idea. Let's add another. And I'm going to assign that to, so let's hide you. Let's come into here. Yeah, I'm just going to assign that to that. Do I actually want to, actually, let's assign it to this as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a crease on here. I can select it somewhere in here. Maybe not. Maybe. All right, I'm going to back that up then. There we go. I'm on the wrong thing. All right, where's our... There it is, crease. There's another circle in here I'm trying to select. Are you... There it is. I think I got it. There it is. There we go. I think I want to make you a little bit larger. And maybe rotate you a little. And maybe make you a little bit smaller. Oh, there it is. That's probably good enough. One little blobby earpiece. And we'll put a mirror modifier on that. Did I, I'm going to UV map this with the, I do have my seam set up, so we should be able to just pop over here. I did already do a slaptastic job of UV mapping that. I probably could use a seam in here. What are you? I thought I put a seam through the whole thing. Wah. Why did you not cut through here? Oh yeah, I did. Oh, I see what's happening. It's just weird. Let's try this again. I'll just do it that way. Probably good enough. I'm going to texture this in Substance. This is one of those things with UV mapping. It really doesn't matter. Unless I want to put maybe a logo, and that's the thing right there. We can put the logo on. So I think for that, you know what? I'm just going to rotate that. No, I'll do it later. We're going to scale this. Let's make the little transceiver. I'm just going to make a little square box that we're going to clip to the belt. It's going to look kind of like, I think kind of like this. I'm going to not actually copy this per se. I'm just going to put a couple little dials, couple buttons, and a generic screen. Mine's going to be a little bit thinner and maybe a little longer, and we'll put a clip on the back. So let's pop over here into layout. Let's get our, so I have to scale it so it looks proper on a waist. So it needs to be, I'm doing a technical measuring, maybe 4 inches. Maybe I'll make it a tenth of a meter. Let's start with this. Start with a cube. Size 0.0, 0.1. I might make it a little smaller than that. So we'll kind of do that. All right, let's get a, I need a cylinder in here. I think I'll start with that. Am I still in edit mode? I'm still in edit mode. Yay. Just gonna put a little couple little dialy things in here. I got feet in the way. Well, I've got you in the way, and I've got. Do I have the shoe set up? I do have the shoe. We can hide the shoe like that. Let's detail. Good enough. Let's put some seams in here. I can't see what I'm doing. I think I missed. There we go. I want that and that. And that's probably good enough. And then mark a seam there and there. I know, did I clip on the right things? I did not. Let's try that again. Mark a seam there and there. There we go, there and there. That'll probably do. I think I'm going to actually make you a little bit flatter. I hit the wrong button. Add a little bit of a bevel. Did I get the edge I'm looking for? I did not. So am I, yeah, so if I shift D that, move you over to here. Oops, I didn't need all of that. And then I'll just add a couple little buttons on the top. Then I'm going to give this some detail, maybe put something that'll act as a screen. Well, I'm probably not going to put a graphic on it because I'm feeling a little lazy. Just a little. You need another cylinder. Scale, 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 scale. I wasn't paying attention how I was scaling. I might have flipped it. How are you looking? All right, let me make you bigger. This doesn't deform, so I'm not worrying about doing things like grid filling. I'm going to do 2 of these. I think I actually want you to be a little bit shorter. Once again, you know, we might as well set up our seams. I think I've got a poly down on the bottom here I don't want. And then we'll put a seam there, and one more there. And then I'm going to come around in the back and split, mark a couple seams there. I think I want to make these dials bigger, actually. Well, wider and maybe a little thinner, but I don't know. We'll see. And let's do this on the medians, or the individual origins. So I'm going to scale, but not on the Y. Let's do it that way. I kind of like that. We'll just pull you down a little bit. There, that looks like some sort of technical thing. Add an extra button on there so it looks fancy and shit. All right, let's put a screen area in here. I think we'll chop that like so. Do a little inset, do a little extrude, do another inset, do another extrude. Actually, I think I'll scale that down just a scoosh. I think that'll be my screen. And actually, I want this to be a little further off of that edge. Because I'm going to run a little, I'm just going to run a little bevel along all the box edges now. Dang it, stop that. There we go. I'm going to push that off that edge a little bit. So I'm going to just round this out. I'm just going to, what did I just click on? I have everything selected. I think I do. Oops. Where did you guys get selected? All right. Oh, I see. You came in when I clicked on that. Okay. Fine. You know what? I think I'm going to go with that. I still need to make a clip for this. So I'm just going to kind of start with a basic clip shape and then we'll add that on. But for right now, all right, let's set up the UV mapping for this. Let's just break this out right here. And let me turn the X-ray off because that's just, I can't work with that on right now. So mark a seam there. You know what? I'm going to let this frame just flatten. You know what? I'm going to put a mark a seam there. Did that go all the way around? It did. So I'm going to mark a seam there, and then I'm just going to maybe click on these. And then, how do I want to do you? You know what? I'm just going to break you up into parts. Did you go all the way around? You did not. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Oh no, I didn't crease that part. Damn it. How annoying. Uh, don't you just hate it when that happens? I can fix it. It's just I'm annoyed at myself for missing that. It's probably uneven. Oh well, c'est la vie. Oh, where's my Kniffy tool? There it is. We'll do that. Then I'm going to clean out. And then I'll just kind of do the same thing down here. Dissolve, dissolve, where are you? Nope, I didn't hit the delete. There we go. There's the delete. There's the dissolve edges. And I'm just going to tweak you in a little bit. Okay, do you need... No, I don't need to add a seam in there. This should probably be okay. Probably good enough. The only thing I'm really concerned about is if I want to put something on this screen. If I decide to do that, I might just move that to another map or another UDIM. And are you going to sub D nicely or not? Probably going to want to add a sub D level on here at some point. I might do that in DAZ, but we'll see how this looks if I do it over here. Maybe we'll just do it in here and then not worry about it. Oh, that's right. Smooth by angle is now a modifier. So we'll add some seams in here. Maybe we'll just do a little bit of beveling. And can I just, we'll just do one segment on there. I'm going to have to clean that up though. You know what? I'm just going to, we'll just crease those. Chris can't see. Did I not hit the 3? I did hit the 3. Did I not? Okay. Woo. Who is not? Oh, I hate it when that happens. So why are you not? It's there we go. I can't tell you how many times I've dialed that to 1 and ended up with 99. I think that'll do the trick. I'm going to make this a little bit. Nah, I'm going to live with that. Let's add some materials. What do you call these? Is there a name for this? Certified open box. What are you? What are you? Enjoy the freedom of stage of the ear monitoring system connecting to a. It's a monitor. Okay. That's the monitor. Monitor screen, monitor dial, monitor button. Monitor screen, screen. Give you a color that's easy to spot. Did I not assign you? There we go, that's better. Monitor dials. And you know what? I think I'm just going to just grab the top parts of the buttons. Oops, like that. It's all going to be black. Probably, but I might use different materials. I'm probably going to end up using the same material here as I use over there. And you know what? You need to do a little bit of tweaking with these as well. All right, we're going to go with that. All right, let me add the clip. And do I want to size that any further? I'm just going to. Actually, it does look a little bigger than it should be. That's a little small. Actually, I think I'm going to leave it that way. Okay, I'm just going to drag out a shape with a here, let's control A, mesh. Let's do a single vert. Let's tab in, select all. Where am I? Tab in. Do I got my vert right there? I can't tell. There it is. I see it. Okay, this is what I want to do. Extrude. Extrude out to there. Bring you maybe down to here. And then into here. I'm probably going to make this smaller. And then like that. I used the wrong one. What's the shortcut key for, is it Control Shift B, the bevel points? Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. There we go. I'm going to add some thickness to that. All right, let's put you right there. And I'm going to maybe move you over into here somewhere. And we're going to scale these. So am I in a, I am in a different, let's put a solidify on here. I'm in the wrong thing. You're going to be monitor clip. Monitor clip gets a color. There we go. Now I'm in object mode. Now I'm going to come over here. Now we're going to add, I'm going to solidify by like half a millimeter or something. I wish I knew how thick sheets of metal like that really were, but we'll just eyeball it. We don't want to make it too thick because too thick always looks a little cartoony, right? Mm, generate, solidify. See, too thick, cartoony. See, a millimeter is still a little kind of thick looking. I'm going to go with half a millimeter. I'm probably going to put a sub D on here. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe I should put a, yeah, let's put a sub D on here. Dum, dum, dum. I'm going to add a loop cut in here to help that stay a little straighter and maybe take you in. You have some sort of weird crease going on. Why are you not? That's a little better. I do kind of want to put that there. So if I do that, you could be a little smoother. Why are you looking? Oh, I know what it is. Let's move the orders of these. That's what's going on. That's better. You're still kind of creasing funny in there, aren't you? Why? You know, I'm going to turn the, oh, I bet you I know. I bet you my extrudes are a little weird. Let's do this. A merge, let's merge by distance. Nope. I thought for sure I had two extra. Wait a minute. What are my normals probably need to be recalculated. I probably got flippy normals or something weird going on. I do. It made me flippy normals. That's the reason why it's acting goofy. What are you, mesh? We'll just recalculate the normals, right? See, there we go. Now I got happiness. Now I can put my solidify back on. I think that'll be fine. probably, I'm going to flatten that out just a little bit. But I want to kind of show it's there, but I'm not actually going to use it to go inside clothes. We're actually going to kind of sit it above clothes. So with that in mind, we'll just kind of flatten you out a bit. And we'll try a little proportional editing on there. Charles, hey, Sarah is sitting on a 1969 Boss 302. Bitchin'. All right, you know what? Is that what I want? Maybe. I think I'm going to go with that. So let's dial that back a level of sub D. I think I've got, what, 2 levels? We'll just go with the 1 level for now. That way, when I merge it with that, if I want to up the sub D a little, we can do that. Also, I think I got to tweak the smoothing angle on that. Before you forget to tell you, you have work in the morning, you're going to try and join. All right. Man, they are just working you, aren't they? All right, I'm happy with that. Let's convert that to a mesh and add it to the rest of it. We'll set some seams up and we'll UV map this with the earpieces. I need to duplicate the earpieces, by the way. And it's way past 3, isn't it? 3:10. We're making progress here. I'm going to then work on getting the shoes over. And my brain has stopped, so I'm still doing this. You know what? Let's just go ahead and join those. Am I in Control J? Nope. All right, let's apply object. I want to like convert mesh, right? So we quickly apply all the modifiers. And we're going to just mark those seams. And I'm just going to, it didn't look like it flipped all the way around, so we're just going to make sure we do this. And I'm going to just mark a little seam right there. And maybe another one like right there. Yeah, it looks fine. So I think, yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and kill you. Apply, dang it. Apply you. Join these. Turn you into monitor. And I'm going to say receiver. And then we'll just mirror modify that. How is that looking, by the way? Do I need to put a sub D on there? Probably not. I could probably just get away with it. There's a lot of mesh in there, and it's teeny. So we're going to do a mirror on that. You know what? Going to make sure we apply all the transforms. Oh, why am I not seeing you mirroring? Do I not have the... I don't have the right thing selected. That's the reason why. Because I am in object mode. Why are you no select? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I have a sub D on there. You know what? Let's add our mirror. I'm looking at it, aren't I? Generate mirror. There it is. You know that? That looks like it popped into the right spot. So take that, and we'll take this, and come over here. I'm actually going to save these out as three separate things, but for purposes of UV mapping, we'll put them all onto the one on the same. Also, you know what? I hate shapes like that. Let's move that out real quick here. Tab. We have the technology. Well, maybe not. maybe, maybe I do. Maybe I do like this. And then I'm just going to do that to the other side. And since I'm in here, is it control P? No, shift P. Is it just P? Oh, there it is. It's just P. One of those days. Uh, earpiece L. Earpiece R. Got those. Get the monitor. Tap in, select everything, come over to UV editing, and we'll just unwrap the whole kit and caboodle together. I'm not overly concerned about clean mapping on this because I'm just going to do a quick texturing in Substance. Hit the U. I don't know, let's try that. I think that's just going to be fine. Although, should I subdivide? Probably going to be okay. I think I'm going to sub-D this one level, maybe. No, actually, I think it looks fine. I don't have a sub-D on there, do I? Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fine. All right, I'm going to hit save on this. So I'm done modeling these. And then I just have to kind of reposition this to fit. And we'll add... Am I going to just make you into a figure? I'm going to make you both figures, I think. And then we'll have... you can adjust them a little bit or something. That will end up being clipped to the belt. So we're good there. So I'm going to... Let's group all of this stuff together. Control M. Did I not? M. Control M. Shift M. Try this again. Some days. How do I create a collection here? Is it M? M is, there it is, M. God damn. Here we go. Hide that. All right. We're gonna move on to getting the shoe over into the DAS now. Are you, nope. All right. I need to set up UVs on this, I guess. We'll do that. Did I not set up? Yeah, we need to put some seams on there. Split it up, mirror it, export it out, rig it in DAS, reshape the Genesis 8 female. So this might not get done before 4, but we'll see. Pop over here. I don't need to see that foot because we're good with that right now. I think we'll do this in baby steps. And then I'm going to add additional seams. But we're basically are going to select by and then UV. Well, I'll mark a seam on that. 1, 2. And I'm going to turn the X-ray off because I'm looking through this and I don't need to look through that. Arg, I can't. There we go. Found it. Oh, it was off. Oh, you're just so close to the surface, you're just poking through. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay, we'll do the same thing with this. And you're the liner. Select that. Unwrap. Probably good to go there. Okay, let's get the insole. You know what I don't need is I don't need this marked as a seam. Is good. And I should try to remember to hide this stuff as I go. It'd just be a little easier. Okie dokie. What is going on here? Dude. I probably need to fix some creasing or something in there. There we go. That fixed it. So I have this heel tip. I'm just going to add a couple of little seams on these edges here. Okay, you are connecting funny somewhere. You know what? Let's I think I've got some sort of weird seaming going on in here, so we'll just reset your seam on that. Mark seam there. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, that's good. Whoops. Okay, the heel. You know what? I think I'm going to spot some seams down these edges here and here. There and there. I think that's, do I want to actually just mark a seam there as well? I think I will. All right, that all looks good. All right, let's get everything back. Let's select everything. Let's remark seams based on UV islands. Seams from islands should be good. And we'll try that. Okay, so I'm going to mirror this, and we're going to mirror the UV. So I'm going to move this into half of the, and I can't see my grid. Why can I no see my grid? I swear. It's like stuff I never use, and then suddenly you hit a button and you're stuck in a view. You have no idea what it looks like. Is it because of that? Nope. Is it one of these? Is it in the image somewhere? View grid UVs. Where are you? Where are you? Is it over? Show Gizmo. Dang it. I hate it when this happens. Is it because I thinks it has an image in here? So can I just clear that out? I'm not seeing. If I don't see my grid, it's going to be really hard. I gotta Google this again. It's been so long since I've actually had to play with this stupid grid. I forgot how it goes. Blender UV view grid. UV editor grid overlay. Having the ability to toggle said grid lines would be really helpful. How to view UV grid in Blender. I'm not sure if that's actually what I'm looking for. How to make a square grid for UV maps. Nope. Nope. Is there a display grid option? Maybe it's in here. That looks like it's ancient or a different program. I hate it when you forget stuff like this. To make UV, first ensure you have linked an image and you. I don't want to link an image. Then enable overlays. And if the grid isn't appearing, you may need to correct or select new image. Really? Yeah, that totally didn't do anything. Finally, make sure that it's set to UV's not. That's not what I'm looking for. Arg. I know what I'm looking for, and I just can't. I don't know. Does Packmaster have my mapping still set up? My custom. Oh, my custom is already still set up. Yay. Okay, never mind. I don't really need that then. I got lucky. Packmaster remembered the fact that I like to have that pack shoes into half a grid. And then when we do the UV, we can flip this with the mirror modifier. So here, let's put the mirror modifier on this. And this is for Genesis 9. So we'll get this exported out and rig it onto Genesis 9. Let's put on the mirror modifier. Actually, do I want to apply this and then redo the, I think we'll do that. And then redo the, and then repack it. And then come back over here. Okay, now we'll put the mirror modifier in there. And let's do that. And over here in data, we'll make sure that we're mirroring our UVs across like that. Should be good. Let's export this out. Deadline shoes. Where am I? I'm in substance. Let's come up to, you know, let's just do that right here. Deadline shoes, G9. Use my DAS preset. I think I'm good. Am I doing materials? I am. I'm just going to send it out once more for substance. So we'll turn that off. I'll add an NM on here, so no materials. And when we do substance, that's going to be the one we'll bring in, and then we'll bake this to that. We would probably not do that today, but anyhow, let's hide you. And let's get into Genesis. And let's get those shoes in here and start rigging. I have to go get my rigging instructions because I can never remember how to do this. Oops, somebody closed this chat. Hello, chat. Import. Are you my import button? You're my import button right there. Deadline. I hid you over in here. There we go. Let's switch you back to 10,000. 1 0 1 2 3. Okay, now we just got to get these feet to fit. Bend, bend, bend. Where are you? Select the foot. Bend the foot. I usually do these in increments of like 5 degrees, so 35 is probably the right number there. And then we're going to bend the toes the other way. Minus 35. And that should be... Dang it! You're off just a skosh. Of course you are. Because you're evil. If I say 30... That's not going to work, is it? You know, these used to work better. Is that good? I think that's going to be fine. Then we bend those toes back minus 30. Should be good. We'll just mirror that over to the other side. Left to right. My shoes are showing some shading stress. Let's see if we can, before we go any further, let's just make sure that we can clear that up. Did I save my materials? There they are. I'm going to throw this generic shader on there. And we're going to come down here to this angle and tweak that. That smoothed it out. That looks fine. All right, Chris needs PowerPoint. Because in PowerPoint, file open. Somewhere in here is my shoe rigging instructions. Rigging shoes. There we go. As always, we are right here on step 2, import. So now we're going to copy these hidden parameters. So we select that because they currently use. These are the hidden parameters right here. You think after doing 100 times, this 100 times, I would remember these steps. Bake the joint rotations, then reset the JCM. So we're going to reset these JCMs to these numbers here after we bake. Let's turn on the, there we go, join editor. Edit, bake joint rotations. Then these get reset to 50.8 at 50.0. All right, should be good. Reset. Use the transfer utility. Do not use a projection template. I have done that before. I've done that often enough where I actually put in my instructions not to do that. Okay, there's the transfer utility. Select the Genesis 9. Select the shoes. Don't click on template. Say accept. my magic numbers for 33 and 33. So what do we got here? 0 JCMs on the shoes. All right, so we're going to come over here to the shoes. I'm going to just set, can I just control shift after that? Does that work? That did not work. Okay. Okay, we have 0 the JCMs. Reverse the Genesis pose. So left foot was 33. So now we do minus 33. Toes were minus 33. So we're going to say 33. Okay, mirror that to the other side. Symmetry, left to right, except. All right, we're going to touch up the weight maps just a little bit in the shoes. I'll do the left foot. There's the weight map. Come over to the tool settings and do that. And do I need to just smooth you out, or am I in the? I am on the left foot. So am I just going to remove you or smooth you out? I'm just going to remove you like that. There. Oops. You know what Chris forgot to do? Chris forgot to use symmetry. Because I can do both of these at the same time. So I think that's all I really want to do on that. Maybe we'll just smooth this out a little bit. Let's tweak my my thing. Come back to smooth. And I'm just going to maybe smooth that out a little bit. I don't think that made a big difference. Probably, that's probably going to be good enough. So at this point, I'm going to just export that, and then I'm going to redo. Deadline choose, file export. And I'm going to stick you up in here now. %, looking good. I'm going to write my surfaces. Accept. Okay. Now I've got this broken Genesis 9 in here, so we're going to load in a new one. All right, we're going to load in that updated shoe shape. Dum, dum, dum. This one right here. And then we're going to rig this to this figure here. I'm going to delete this because it always confuses me. I think I can safely delete that. So now we'll use the transfer tool. Point. Select that and this. Now I can use a projection template. Footwear template works pretty well. So after we do this, we're going to tweak the shape just a little bit. And then we're going to save out the foot pose and the shoe. So actually, let's pose the feet. Actually, and then we'll save it this time. Well, that got a little weird in the back. Actually, I think I'll fix that when I tweak the shape a little bit. Okay, fingers crossed. I didn't even check that when I posed the feet though. That might require a little bit of fixing over in Blender. Content library. So there it is. It was originally going to be like a business suit, but then I decided to make it a reporter outfit. So here we're going to save a pose preset right there. DL deadline choose pose G9. You know what? Check only, all modified. Does that work? You know what? I'm just going to click on that. There we go. Let's just save the feet poses and everything underneath it. Okay, let's reshape the shoes a little bit. So we're going to bring in the original shape again. So we're going to use that as like a morph target point. And this one in here, right there. Either one of these should work actually because of the same shape. Yay. Okay, let's dial that in. See if this works. Otherwise, we're doing a little bit of tweaking over in Blender. Oh, my scaling was off. Let's try that again. I was screwing with the scaling, and now it's all forked up. And let's do that. There we go. Did that fix it? I might need to do a little bit of tweaking. So in Blender, we're going to just pull that heel back a little bit. Also, we're getting stress shading, but we'll fix that in a minute. So here in Blender, I know I just want to pull this back just a little bit to get it off of that. I think that'll be good. There we go. Okay, so did you get off the heel a little bit? You did. Do I need to want to do any more tweaking before I'm thinking maybe I think maybe I'm good here. I think so. So I think we'll zero this, resave it, and update the geometry. Maybe rerun the transfer tool on that just to adjust the rigging just a little bit. So I'm going to resave these right here. And then we'll update the, then we'll reset that. Then we'll update the geometry with the vertex position. Hopefully this works. And then we'll repose. And we'll see how that's looking. Okay, so that kind of fixed that. I'm going to rerun the transfer tool on that just to make any, if there was any minor changes to the weight mapping back here from the repositioning. So we'll just redo that real quick. So I'm going to redo the Genesis 9 and the Deadline shoes. And we'll just make sure we're using the shoe template, footwear template, accept that. We probably won't see any real difference here. At least I hope. All right, let's put my base shader on here. So that's looking okay. Let me just double check before I get too far. That's kind of what it's supposed to look like. And we're going to tweak the crease angle a little bit, just to sharpen those edges up. All right. Those are done. I got 15 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to get the these rigged for Genesis 8 or not yet, but here, I gotta make sure that I'm going to save this out again. So I want to save, I saved you, and then I want to save over you again without the materials. So this is what we'll use in Substance to color these with. Let's, I should be able to save this now. What do I got selected in the scene? I have the shoe selected. Excellent. So let's do figures, save as a figure prop asset. Come over to here. Go down to the business suit directory, people, and Genesis 9, and clothing, and me, and deadline outfit, and shoes. But this is just the shoes and not the pose. So we'll take that. Say yay, yes. Product is deadline outfit. Is good. Is footwear. All of that's probably good. I'm going to hit that. Okay, let's see about getting you to fit Genesis 8. Let's get a Genesis 8 in here. We'll get the feet posed about right, send it over, and then make any adjustments to the model we need. Right there. And we'll start with 33 and minus 33 and see how that's looking. And I am going to straighten up the Genesis 8 legs. So we'll do this leg. You need to side to side about, I don't have the right, there we go, side to side about -6, I think is over here. And then we'll take that foot and take you about 33. And then we'll bend those toes. -33. All right, so we're going to get the Genesis 8 shoe to kind of fit that shape right there. Here, I'll mirror that over. And we'll export that out and use that for tweaking the shoes. You might export. Yep. Here we go. It choose G8. G8. Save that. Looking good. So in Blender, I haven't saved in here for a little while, so hit save. And I'm going to make a copy of you. And you're going to be, I should call you Shu G8 email. All right, and then let's import that right there. And then we'll just kind of tweak this shoe to fit that. So it's mirrored and it still has the same UVs as the other one, so we could still swap. So let's do a look at you from the front. So start off with that. Maybe somewhere in there. There's a little bit of a twist I think I need to add in here. RZ, maybe a little bit like that. All right, now we'll just use proportional editing to try to pull these sides. If I can actually select what I want to click on. I think I just want this edge and not the actual. Where are you? There we go. Maybe I'll start with this. Maybe I just pull the whole front forward. I think we're good. Also, I got a little bit of a goofiness over here. So maybe I can just do that. Am I happy with that? Pretty close. We can tweak that if we need to. I think that's going to be We'll go with this. I'm just going to make sure. Okay, so those are good. Oh, I got a little bit of a weirdness going on over here. I think that should be fine. He said pulling it out even further. All right, let's export this a couple of times. Well, I just need this exported once, really. I am going to put one in here for the G. So this is the base shape that I actually would like the shoe to look like. And then we'll just go through the rigging instructions again. So you, I don't need anymore. You, let's save that pose. I've got about 6 minutes before I'm going to call it a day. So we're going to quickly rig these shoes and then save it. I probably will have some tweaking still to do. But before I lose this here, let's save the pose preset. Deadline shoes pose. G8 female, capitalized pose. Let's uncheck that and let's work our way down the legs. So I'm going to do everything from the left foot down and then everything from the right foot down. So we're just going to do the feet. There we go. And what are you set to? Did I actually do 33 and minus 33? So we're going to go with that. All right. Kind of what we did before. Let's import in that. Accept that. Should be good. All right, back to the instructions. Copy hidden parameters. I've got the wrong thing selected. There we go. I'm copying these hidden parameters. So I can see these. All right. Bake joint rotations, reset JCMs. Okay. Oops. Dang it. There we go. Bake to joint rotations. Yeah. Reset these. You are 44. Let's try that again. You are 55. You are 50.8. Is that right? That is right. Okay. Back to the instructions. Use the transfer utility. Got it. Genesis a female. Deadline shoes, G8F. Yes, don't use the projection template. All right, it does its thing. 0 JCMs on the shoes. Reverse the pose. Clean up the weight maps, export it out, bring it back in, and refit it. I don't know why you don't zero out when I reset you. Okay. 0 on the pose. Reverse the pose on the Genesis 8 female. Oops. I don't want the metatarsal. I want the foot. And I want to see that. And we are looking for... Oh over here, bend. On this dirty tree. Go to the toes. Bend. Dirty tree. All right, let's mirror that across. Let's touch up the weights on the feet of the shoes. So I'm just going to smooth that out, I guess. And we got our symmetry still turned on. Okay. Oh, you know, you're not, you need to be big again. This isn't that critical, so I'm probably just going to pretend I'm fixing things and then carry on. So actually that's the shape we want to rig to. So let's export that out. That's the wrong figure. There we go. Hit the old export button. I'm going to come over here, click on that, but come over here and then save it. All right, hide you, reload. Oh, I forgot to do the legs. I have to rebend the legs, that's right. And then I gotta re-export it. So you are side to side 6. Well, it's not bending, but it's side to side. And you are -6. Okay, now we're gonna resave those shoes. Right there. Okay, now we hide you. Bring you back. Reload in that shoe we just exported. This one over here. Okay, I'm not worrying about the fact that it looks like garbage right now. Okay, let's rig this. Transfer tool. Just say female 3. Yes, sir. Deadline shoes G8F. I probably should say female on that at some point. I can use a projection template, but I don't think we have a... I'm just going to say full body and accept that. Okay, we're going to tweak the shape just a little bit. I'm going a little past 4 right now. But let's do... So we're going to reapply our foot pose. I'm going to rebend these legs again. I didn't save that with the foot pose. For now, I probably should have, but we'll be okay. All right, let's update this shape with the original shape. Nope, I load you in as a morph target. That's right. We dial you in. Looks good. Okay, we reset you. We resave this with this new shape. So I'm going to overwrite that. Update the geometry. Should be good. Let's check our feet pose now. It's close enough. Probably needs a little bit of tweaking. The rigging never is clean. See, that needed a little bit of work. We'll probably add a little morph in there to fix that. But anyhow, this is good enough. Let's put our shader on here, save these shoes out, and we're going to raid out to somebody. See if any of our art friends are on, and we'll go say hi to them. Surfaces, select you. Oh no, I lost my materials. Drats. Oh, drats. I'll fix it later. That happens occasionally. I can manually reassign them if I need to. I think there's a way I can probably. Anyhow, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay. What I'm probably going to do is probably save it out and re-rig it. I can't believe I forgot the materials again. That's about par for the course. I probably did it when I exported from Blender and I forgot to switch on the materials. Fucking Substance. It's Substance's fault because it requires models with no materials or it punishes you. Call that. Call you call you accessory. Nope. Call you wardrobe footwear. Probably good enough. Except that, and then we're gonna call this call it for day. Taddy's on. All right. I think Taddy's our target then. Hey, thanks for being here, Charles. I appreciate it, man. And everybody else who was here. Meowler, it's good to see you, buddy. We'll try to catch your stream. I think we also had Lund pop in the house and the legendary CS Bond. I think we saw DJ Ray in here as well. So anyhow, thank you. We will be back tonight, by the way. It is Saturday. We will be doing the Saturday Night Social. It's an art share. It's a Discord chat and an old cartoon. We're still watching old Betty Boop cartoons. So I'm back to rewatching. It's been a few years since we watched the Betty Boops. So yeah, we're doing that. So let's go say hi to Taddy. And thank you all for being here. And yeah, and if you're not back tonight at 8, I hope you have a good rest of a Saturday or Sunday. And my next stream after that will be Monday, 2 p.m. We'll be doing more stuff like this. Where is my Twitch? Are you my Twitch? I gotta come over here and I gotta open that up, and then I have to see my following list. And we're gonna scroll down till I find the Tad Master. Taddy Bidet doing art. It is a. What is Taddy up to? After birth celebration and lazy art hangout with Creation. Ooh, we get 2 cool streamers for the price of 1. I hope you can stick around. Hey, if there's anybody over on the YouTube, thank you. Remember, like and subscribe. And for those of you on the Twitch, if you could stick around and join the raid, that would be awesome. We have the raid calls. If you're not a sub, you can use that. If you are a sub, you can use that. And let's do this. /raid. I'm going to copy. I could probably spell Taddy Bidet, but there's a fair chance. Did you see my perfect spelling? I did not. Did you perfectly spell Taddy? Was that it? Did I miss that? Tabby did Bidet. You know, my dyslexic brain didn't even spot that. There we go. We have started our raid. Hey, Matthias, how you doing? You caught me as we're leaving. We made shoes. We made a monitor thing for ears. We did the there we go. We got the little thing. You can clip that to your waistband. There are little earbuds so you can listen to the station. And we were also working on doing the texturing thing over here in Substance. So we got a little bit done working on the deadline outfit. Thank you all for being here. Let's go over and say hi to the awesome sauce that is Tatty Bidet. I'm going to copy my rate call and damn it, copy that. And hasta la vista, baby.